Welcome to Spelling Bee Ninja. Today we're going to unlock the world of modal verbs in English grammar. Modal verbs are essential components that help us express a range of meanings like ability, possibility, permission, and obligation. They might seem tricky at first, but stick with me, and you'll find that they can make your speech and writing much more expressive. So, let's dive in and master these important verbs together. Modal verbs are special auxiliary verbs that allow us to pair them with the base form of a main verb. They assist in conveying different nuances of meaning. They typically highlight ability with words like can and could, or possibility with may and might. When we're talking about permission, can and may are our go-to choices. For expressing advice, obligation, or necessity, you would lean towards should, ought to, and must. Each of these modal verbs plays a crucial role in how we express ourselves in English, whether it's in speaking or writing. And first off, let's look at can and could. Can is used to indicate present ability or permission. For instance, if you can swim, you might say, I can swim. On the other hand, could reflects either past ability or expresses conditional possibilities. For example, I could swim when I was 5 refers to a skill you had at an earlier age. It can also mean something that might happen if certain conditions are met, as in, we could go to the party if we finish our homework on time, and next, we have may and might. Both words express possibilities, but they differ in degree. May indicates a formal permission or a higher possibility, like in the sentence, you may start the exam now. In contrast, might suggests less certainty, such as, we might go to the park if the weather is nice, and moving on to must and have to. These words express necessity or a strong obligation. If there's something that's required, you might say, you must wear a helmet while riding a bike. It denotes a non-negotiable rule or requirement. Meanwhile, have to is often used interchangeably with must in casual conversation, as in, I have to finish my homework before dinner. And now let's discuss some special cases such as should, shall, and ought to. Should provides advice or indicates mild obligation. For example, if your friend is late, you might say, you should apologize for being late. Shall is rarely used these days, but it can convey future intent. For instance, a formal declaration might be, we shall overcome. Finally, ought to is similar to should, focusing on a moral obligation. One might say, you ought to help your neighbor, and modal verbs also adapt well to questions and negatives. To create a negative, you simply add not after the modal. For instance, he must not forget his passport becomes a clear directive. You can also use contractions like can't for simplicity, such as, you can't enter without a ticket. When forming questions, just invert the subject and the modal verb. For example, can I borrow your book? Flips from a statement into an inquiry quite easily. And you might be wondering if modal verbs conjugate like regular verbs do. The short answer is, they don't. You will never hear someone say, to can or cans. They always follow the base form of the verb. For example, she can run fast instead of she cans run fast. These little nuances are key to using modal verbs correctly and effectively. And let's break it down with a quick comparison table. Can indicates ability or permission, while could reflects past ability or polite requests. If you're expressing permission or possibility, may and might come into play. When something is necessary, you would use must or have to. For obligations or advice, rely on should or ought to. Each modal verb has its unique role in our language, shaping how we communicate different ideas and intentions. And remember too that the difference between informal and formal modes of these verbs can also matter. For example, in casual language, you might say, can I use your phone, where the formal version would be, may I use your phone? This subtlety can help you sound more polished or appropriate in specific contexts. Similarly, you have to finish this today is more casual than you must complete this by the end of the day. Knowing these distinctions can add to your fluency and sophistication in English. In summary, mastering modal verbs is an essential step in becoming fluent in English. These versatile verbs help you convey your thoughts more effectively, whether you're giving advice, stating obligations, or discussing possibilities. We've covered a wealth of information today about modal verbs, from their forms and functions to their uses in both formal and informal contexts. By understanding how to use them properly, you'll enhance your communication skills and gain greater confidence in your use of the English language. Today, we explored the dynamic world of modal verbs, delving into their significance and practical applications. We learned that words like can, may, and must help us express ability, permission, and necessity. Understanding their unique roles simplifies communication, allows us to give advice, and articulate intentions. Remember, modal verbs are always paired with the base form of the verb, don't conjugate, and can flexibly adapt to negative or interrogative forms. With this knowledge, you are on your way to using modal verbs confidently in your everyday conversations. Thank you for joining me on this journey into modal verbs. I hope you found this lesson helpful in unraveling the intricacies of English grammar. Keep practicing what you've learned, and soon enough, you'll find yourself using these verbs effortlessly in conversations. For more resources and exercises, be sure to explore Spelling Bee Ninja. Until next time, happy learning and take care.